Hello everybody, this is Delva, and we're back with My Heart Had Wings. Let's carry on. Are they gonna make up? Probably not. Yeah. Did they say how long it was? A few weeks? A few days? That's good then, isn't it? Well, it wouldn't stop you guys from talking to each other. Just force them into the same room. That would work, I think. Mayonnaise. Ugh. Horrible, horrible stuff. Ugh. Well, I don't like it. Unlikely. Then just apologize. Can't be that difficult. I don't want to hear anything about it from you, Aoi! There's my Kotori impression. My Kotori impression. It's amazing. Hopefully. It's okay. Yep. How do you know? Hate is a very strong word. Could just say annoyed. That'd work. Amane? Oh yeah, it's still raining, isn't it? This towelette. Or something. Yes, boss. Ooh. It's not that easy. I was being pressed by the Kazoto sisters at the end of the dock. Sorry I made things so awkward, but, they were telling me to make up with Kotori, but it wasn't like we were fighting. What could I do? Apologize? Asa grabs my arm and shakes it like she's pleading. Kotori and I had gone along well. Almost too well. That's why I intruded on her family's business so bluntly, like I knew everything. I really hurt her. For instance, the time I tried to stop Kotori from quitting school, I didn't hold anything back. I thought she'd hate me for it, to be honest. I felt that even if she hated me for it, if new possibilities occurred to her, it'd be worth it. I was able to do that because we just met. But it's different now, yeah. But the issue recently was different. I'd gotten comfortable with our friendship and intruded into an area she wasn't comfortable with. I don't want to hear anything about it from you, Aoi. Honestly, that was a shock to hear. Remembering that makes my heart sink even now. Thanks to that, I wasn't sure how to talk to her. I felt a vague sense of distance. Of course, I don't want to leave things like this. Yeah, don't. When Kotori calms down a bit, I'll apologize to her again. There was something else I had to tell her. I wonder what that is. Okay, I promise. The problem is that I know Kotori isn't asking for an apology. So, what should I do? Apologize anyway? It's still a good option. The door opened, and Agia and the others returned to the dock. From the back...
Yeah.
What was that? Yeah! Amane?
久しぶりだな、葵くん。
Amane entered in her usual carefree fashion. It was the first time in a while that she'd come here.
お、だいぶできたな。
Hopefully almost finished. She says this, looking at the airframe, which has drawn close to completion. All we have to do are the paint job and the details.
それはいい。スケジュール的にも余裕がありそうだな。みんな、集まってくれ。
Saying things with deep meaning, Amane gathered everyone. Hello, Kotori. Kotori noticed me and awkwardly averted her glance. Shouldn't that be gaze? Awkwardly averted her gaze, not glance. I don't know. Amane began talking, not noticing the strange atmosphere.
顧問を引き受けたのに、あんまり顔を出せなくて申し訳ない。大人だからな。忙しいんだ。いえいえ、顧問をやってもらってるだけで十分ですよ。
Age ignores the bragging about being an adult and replies,
それでな、少しでも役に立てればと思ってこんなものを作ってきたんだ。
Amane begins to remove a large sheet of paper from a long, thin tube.
わあ、売れてる。わあ、隙間から水が入ってしまったぞ。
Yep, definitely being an adult.
何なんですか、それ。
Age asked, feeling rushed by the somehow pitiful atmosphere.
これはな、
A present for
コト
Kotori.
リへのプレゼントだ。私？
Kotori is dazed, taken by surprise.
そこの事務所の PC で
A bookmark?
ブックマークを見つけてな。それで書いてみたんだ。
Saying that, she opened the sheet. It looked like some kind of blueprint, but it was not a glider. For a moment, even Agia didn't know what it was.
何
Oh!
ですかこれ。
I know it's gonna be.
みたいですけど。
It's gonna be that German cockpit thing he found before, isn't it? Where you can have people who are disabled, who can't use their legs for the cockpit so they can fly. That's my
だから
guess.
そこの PC にあっただろ。海外製のコックピットの。
Ah! Everyone is surprised by my sudden outburst.
びっくりした。何よいきなり。
I feel like I should have shouted that. This is a cockpit for handicapped people! Kotori, who had raised her head after hearing my outburst, peered at the blueprint again.
先輩が見たのってあのドイツのグライダー製作会社のサイ
Yeah,
ト
there
で
we
すか？
go.
こないだ葵が見つけた。
They can explain it better than I can, honestly.
そうそう。輸入しようとするといろいろ面倒そうだろ。だったら自分たちで作ってしまえばいいんじゃないかと思ってな。最初からどうしたればよかった。
Wouldn't that be easier? Yeah.
話がよく見えないんだけど。これは君のための。
But you have this! You can fly! I cut off Amane, turned to Kotori and spoke enthusiastically. You can fly the glider with your own hands! How about it? Aren't you thrilled? Kotori had a blank look on her face. Seeing her expression, I remembered that we hadn't been talking for several days. Then I realized I had gotten a little too happy and felt embarrassed. The happiness that bubbled up after that could not be controlled.
小鳥、もっと喜びだよ。あんたが自分で操縦できるってことだよ。え、そうなの？
Would you really want to fly on your own though? Kotori still didn't seem to understand. She was vacantly staring at the blueprint.
ラダーをペダルじゃなく手で操作できるようになってる。コックピットを改造する必要は出てくるが。
Well, it shouldn't take too long, right? I think.
このく
I
らい
know.
大したことないですよ。葵くんが探してくれてたの？
Well, I looked it up. Yeah. I thought you probably want to fly by yourself, so... But I never thought that Amane would draw up a blueprint. For a while, Kotori stared in amazement, not at the blueprint, but at me.
ありがとう、あまねちゃん。ごめん。
Suddenly, Kotori reversed the wheelchair.
ちょっとトイレ
Toilet? Is that Japanese for toilet? Restroom? Saying that, she left the dock.
あんまり嬉しそうじゃなかったぞ
I wonder if doing this was intruding too.
さあそんなことないんじゃない
She's too happy that she's hiding. That kind of thing.
なかった嫌われてなかった
Oh, that's why she's happy.
葵くんが私のためによかった
Don't make me cry now. I wasn't ready for that. The next day, the rain, which had stretched over several days, stopped. What was that laugh? What was that laugh? Akia? Is it bad I can't see the difference? The improved airframe was finally complete. Standing before this object, they'd put their blood, sweat and tears into. Everyone was filled with emotion.
やったわね小鳥やった
I guess the problem is now she needs to practice. Standing a bit away from me, Kotori's eyes were shining with just a bit of happiness. Saying that, Adia winked and smiled at me, secretly. I nod back at her. There is still a bit of distance from Kotori. However, the awkwardness from before is gone. It seemed we were both waiting for a good time to make up. Hey, finally.
ぼーっと眺めてる暇はないわよ
Alright.
私も手伝うわ
Hey, she's helping too. We take apart the assembled airframe and load it onto the trailer. Today we'll go to the runway and do a test. A test with our new model glider. Is it gonna crash and burn? All the work for naught?
気をつけてぶつけちゃダメだよ
Today was Asa's first time to do assembly work on the glider's body. It's not difficult work, but mistakes can lead to large accidents. When people involved with gliders do assembly work like this by themselves, they begin to understand the composition and functions of the airframe.
ついに完成したのか
Yeah, looks like it. Anshan says this while gazing at the improved glider being assembled. I had gotten him to help with transporting the glider. I would imagine Anshan feels connected to this glider too.
正直お前たちがここまでやるとは思わなかったぞ
It's thanks to your help, Anshan. You provided us with cheap materials, searched for difficult to find parts, and sometimes helped with building. Oh, that's
俺も見た
nice.
かったんだこいつが飛ぶところ今日は葵が操縦するのか
Maybe? Yeah. It's my first time flying here in a while. Until today, I had been using my weekends and doing training at the runway a distance away. I'm different than I was a year ago.
あまねは来てないんだな
She says she's busy because she's an adult. Even if she isn't here today, she'll have plenty of chances to see a test flight.
葵コックピットお願いポジティブコントロールチェックするから
The fun part. Alright. Ah, well, now I see the difference. Small difference. I get into the cockpit and check the piloting system. The tail assembly and wings have been remade, so it feels different from before.
オッケー次は後部座席ね
Yes, boss. We carefully undertake various types of checks. Of course, Asa and the other newbies were nervous, but so were Agia, Kotori and I. It is our first test flight in a long time.
じゃあ役割分担の確認だけどまずパイロットは葵ねでウインチ操作が私で私じゃないの
You're getting in the back or the front.
私がするのでアサちゃんが翼端を持って走ってねはい頑張ります夜ちゃんは周囲の安全確認をお願いわかったわ
She's not even a part of the team. Oh well. Kotori asked with insecurity in her voice. Without a word, Agia winked at me. Your seat is over there, isn't it? I motioned to the rear seat with my thumb. Kotori looked around at everyone's faces. Until coming here, Kotori had been assigned to the position of controlling the winch. However, no one is surprised by the sudden change. That's because there had been a meeting beforehand with everyone except Kotori. Kotori also realized that when she saw everyone's unnatural expressions. I made you a promise, right? I'll let you ride first. I made you wait quite a while, but Kotori had been looking at me vacantly as I blushed, but soon she blushed even more.
ダメよそんなの。だってこれ作るのに一番頑張ったのアゲハだもん。
Yeah, but I don't think Agia has any interest in flying, does she?
私なんかあんまり役に立ってなかったし。そんなことないよって言ってほしいわけ？甘えんなよ。朝だって乗りたいでしょ？それは乗ってみたいですけど。でも普通は先輩が優先なんじゃないでしょうか。
Old before the young.
夜は私は手伝ってるだけの部外
There
者
we
で
go,
す。
yeah.
飛ぶのは一回こっきりじゃないんだよ。そうですよ。私小鳥先輩に最初に乗ってほしいです。あなたが部長なんでしょ？なら別にいいじゃない。
Kotori glanced upwards at me nervously. As there had been some awkwardness between us for the past several days, I can't expect her to suddenly be happy.
乗る。
Okay.
朝ちゃん、夜ちゃん、小鳥を後部座席に乗せるのを手伝って。はい。
Kotori was lifted by the others and put into the rear seat of the glider.
シートベルト緩くない？大丈夫。
Don't touch the control stick. I spoke to Kotori as I got into the front seat.
葵、これは改良型の初フライトなんだから、あんまり無茶な飛び方しちゃダメよ。
I'm gonna do a loop. I'm gonna do a barrel roll. Of course I won't. Close the canopy.
はいよ。小鳥、いってらっしゃい。
And we're almost off. The canopy was closed. Outside sound was blocked out by the clear dome. I felt a sense of nervousness coming from the rear seat. Outside, Agi was running towards the winch. Wow, you're very close, Asa. Yura is inspecting the surrounding conditions from a distance away, and Asa is checking the tow line. Finally, it's time for the improved glider's first flight. The wings we all made together will fly through the air. And then we all crash and burn. And the promise I made with Kotori a year ago will be fulfilled. Fingers crossed. The air current is calm today. We won't be able to fly very high, but this is perfect for our first flight. But if you get scared, tell me. I'll land right away.
Aoi, 準備 OK?
I heard Agia's voice through the radio. Are you alright, Kotori?
いいよ。
We're okay. I answered. Agia gave the signal to Asa. Asa walked around the side of the body and lifted the wing, which had been leaning on the ground.
Runway is clear.
A little louder, please. The runway had been checked. Lift us up.
了解。行くよ。
And whoosh! The tow line was pulled, and the glider began to move. It accelerated suddenly. Asa was running with all her might, but soon let go of the wing. I pulled the control stick. The glider, which had been running over the weed-covered, bumpy ground, gently lifted up. While the glider floated near the ground, it was pulled by the winch and picked up more speed. I'm going higher. I pulled the control stick back and aimed the nose upwards. The airframe suddenly began to gain altitude. Whoa! Feeling the G's with my whole body, I gripped the control stick so the glider wouldn't lose control. As we got further from the ground and the sky spread out before us outside the canopy, I'm going to disconnect. As we go directly above the winch, I pulled the release lever. The hook was disconnected and the tow line was released from the underside of the airframe. I don't like how they did that then. It looked like they were basically falling to the left. We were released from the force that had been pulling us back, and the glider was thrown into the sky. I quickly turned and checked the tow line's disconnection. And I have confirmed the release.
パラシュートが落ちてく。上から見るとこんな感じなんだ。
Kotori, who had always been in charge of the winch, was looking at the small parachute from below. Takeoff successful. As I announced this, Kotori looked at the outside view from the rear seat.
すごい、本当に飛んでる。
Are you scared?
全然。
I'm facing forward, so I can't see, but I'm sure that Kotori's round eyes are sparkling. That's what her voice sounded like. To check the feel of the new wings, I first flew slowly over the runway. It responds to the rudder more quickly than the old wings, but the feeling of gliding is smooth. As this is a test flight, I have to remember how it feels and report it to Agia later.
朝たちがあんなに小さく見える。で、撃ってもわかんないだろうな。葵、どんな感じ？
Right now, it has a good feel. It's more sensitive than the old glider, but the gliding itself is smooth.
小鳥はどう？すっごく気持ちいいよ。よしよし。じゃあまあ頑張んなよ。お。
What does she have to do her best at? Probably apologize, I'm guessing. I have a grasp of the feel, so I stretch out my legs a bit.
了解。くれぐれも無茶しないでね。
Should we go back to that place?
あそこって？
Windmill Hill. Kotori seemed to think it was a good idea. I tilted the control stick to the side, stepped on the rudder pedal, and flew the glider towards the lake. Whoosh.
本当に飛んでる。どう、朝ちゃん。自分が作った翼が飛んでるのを見る気分は？なんだか不思議です。どうしてあんなものが飛べるんでしょう。不思議だよね。ちゃんと空中でバランスを保ちながら滑空してるんだもんね。どこかへ行くみたい。湖の方かしら。ここで飛ぶ時の定番コースだからね。
The glider crossed over the lake and drew near the area above Windmill Hill.
いい眺め。この湖ってこんなに大きかったんだ。
Lakes are normally big, aren't they though? We're at the edge of the north side of the lake. The lake is long and thin vertically. This portion of it in particular is narrow, almost like a river. Thanks to that, crossing over it in a glider is simple. I slowly flew the glider over the peak of Windmill Hill. There was a bit of warm air current. Fascinating. I like the view here most of all.
いいね。立ち並ぶ風車が綺麗。
This is like a nice image, isn't it?
あれ、私たちの秘密基地かな。
I saw the dock's round roof in the area that Kotori was looking. It's a rather large building, but looks small from here. Do you remember it? The day that we first met?
もちろんよ。
Right over in that area, your wheelchair had gotten a flat tire.
そこに葵くんが来て修理してくれたのよね。
And then the glider that Amane was piloting came flying in. Had even one of those coincidences not happened, we may not have been enjoying this time together in the sky.
上から見るとこんな風なのね。
Kotori spoke with emotion as she looked down through the canopy. I flew around the area slowly, just as Amane had done at that time.
葵くん、
Kotori called my name nervously from the back.
ありがとう。コックピットのこと。
Oh! She was talking about the blueprint that Amane had drawn for us. But I didn't do anything. I just learned that there were cockpits for people with handicaps and collected information. Amane had found it by chance and drawn a blueprint for us. It's not like I asked for it. If you want to thank someone, tell Amane.
私のことなのに自分のことみたいに喜んでくれたでしょ。嬉しかったの。
Oh, yeah. I felt a little bit embarrassed to be told that. At the time, I hadn't dreamed that Amane would prepare something like that for us. So in my surprise, I got too excited. I had gotten too happy, so Kotori, who should have been happy, felt confused.
それに探してくれてたんでしょ？そういうコックピットを。
I just found it on the net by chance and thought, if we had this, Kotori could fly by herself.
ありがとう。
I didn't do anything to warrant being thanked. Being thanked even though I didn't do anything special actually made me feel weird. But I'm glad that Amane drew the blueprint. When we finish building the cockpit, you can fly too. You'll have to train really hard, you know? I jokingly spoke in a threatening manner, but Kotori nodded solemnly from the rear seat.
それとね。
Kotori hesitated, as though it was hard to say.
この間のことだけど。
I heard the sound of her inhaling, as though she were taking deep breath.
ひどいこと言ってごめんね。
Oh, it's okay. I didn't want to hear anything about it from you, Aoi.
あれは違うの。
It's the third time I had to say that.
葵くんはいつも私の味方をしてくれるって思ってて。なのに、そうじゃないこと言われた気がして、それで。
Her voice made it sound like she was about to cry. I couldn't bear it, so I began to speak. No, I'm sorry. I intruded on your personal matters.
違うの。
Kotori reflexively cut me off.
葵くんにはもっと立ち入ったことを言ってほしい。葵くんがそういうことを言うのはおかしなことじゃないの。
Kotori.
私バカだし強情だし素直じゃないから時々あんな態度取っちゃうけど。
You got the stubborn bit right.
でもあれは本当の気持ちじゃないの。そのこと知っててほしい。
Okay, I'll remember. I could sense Kotori's relief. And the music just stops. It was as though the tension that had continued since the canopy had closed finally dissipated. Alright, can I say something a little bit intrusive?
いいよ。
I like you. I like you. And not as a friend, but as a girl. The wide open eyes. Maybe it's a nuisance for you, but I want you to know. Kotori stopped talking. There was an awkward silence. Just as I became nervous that I surprised her, I realized that Kotori was crying. Kotori?
これやめじゃないよね。
No, I'm pretty sure we're awake.
私
Finally! Finally!
私も好き。葵くんのこと好き。
While crying, Kotori spoke with all her might. Her voice carried through the inside of the canopy. I felt it, not just with my ears, but with my entire body. I'm so glad to hear that. I felt more relieved than happy. So we both feel this way.
そうだね。
Which means we're dating, right?
今からずっと。
I see. My happiness that I've been holding in finally boiled over. Kotori's surprised at my sudden laughter.
どうしたの？
But I couldn't stop. I was so happy. Kotori, I like you. I love you. Don't make me shout out loud, please. I surrendered myself to the overflowing emotions and tilted the control stick. We're doing a loop or something now. The glider spins around while flying. And then we die. I'm so glad! Kotori says she likes me!
好きだよ。
Taking in G's inside the cockpit, Kotori answers frantically. I like you too, Kotori. The glider spins and does a somersault. Like my happiness had been transferred to the glider. Agia's scolding voice came through the radio transceiver. I'm sorry! I just got a little excited. I panicked and leveled the plane out. Kotori, are you alright?
ちょっと目が回っただけ。嬉しいのは分かったから。とりあえずおめでとう。
Now everybody knows. Huh? Congratulations?
おめでとうございます。葵先輩、小鳥先輩。
Yep, they all know.
何？
He had his
どういうこと？
he had his button on the transceiver.
さっきから全部ダダ漏れよ。おかげでこっちはむずがゆくてたまらないわ。
Of course it did.
ああ、なんか後部座席の無線がずっとオンになってたみたい。
What the hell's up with that face? What?
嘘。無線機がトラブってるみたいね。いやー、気づくのが遅れたわ。
You liar! You must have realized right away.
そのおかげで素敵な瞬間に立ち会うことができました。
Share your special moment.
ロマンチックです。大空の告白。私てっきりわざと聞かせてるのかと思ってたわ。
These guys.
葵、あんたまさか最初から狙ってたわけ？
Maybe. I had intended to tell Kotori my feelings on today's test flight. It was a chance for us to have some time alone, just the two of us. There was no worry of being overheard by anyone, or so I thought.
報告する手間が省けたと思って諦めなさい。
Oh dear.
通信終了。
The transmission cut off. Kotori. Kotori's looking down, her face beet red. After that, we stayed in the sky as long as we could. And we took as much time as possible to land on the runway. Oy. Okay, I think I'm going to end it there. I think after that, I think that's like the perfect point to end it. Okay then, thank you guys for watching. This has been Delpha. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and all that good stuff. Thank you again, and goodbye.